A shark in poker is a highly skilled player, and just like the real sharks in the sea, they exercise patience, they circle their prey, and they know the exact right time to strike. In this video, we've compiled the top 5 hands played by poker sharks. Enjoy and subscribe.
Okay, Joseph, how do you feel about playing a hand against Phil Ivey?
Not gonna lie, don't really want to do it. However, if we have to, can we at least play along with one of the smartest people I've ever met?
She has a boyfriend, Joe.
Call.
We're calling with ace queen suited. So let's go in the tank with Jennifer and go to the flop. Ace 8-8.
Awesome, we just beat Phil Ivey. Brick, ship it.
No continuation bet from Phil.
We should probably start betting this for value.
There's a bet.
Fine, Phil, call. See if I care.
To the turn. A 7. Phil checks again.
I say we bet this again.
No, Jennifer checks behind. We're going to the river. The cage is in play. It's a 9.
Jen is smarter than me and probably realized we couldn't get 3 streets of value, meaning if we bet 3 streets and Phil comes along for the ride the whole time, it might be him taking us for the ride and not the other way around.
Jen betting the river. And she is playing the value card.
Most certainly a bet for value. And we definitely want to get called.
Hold up there.
Son of a...
Phil has just check raised. And we don't know if this is a raise for value or if this is a bluff.
This is a pretty sick spot. I'm not even in this spot for real and I feel sick. Could be the leftover Chinese food. Regardless, we're gonna need some time. Oh man, like a drunken telemarketer. I'm leaning toward a call.
10 seconds. And a time bank chip has been deployed.
Phil just got reminded about the 25K bluff bonus, so it's fresh in his mind. Pot odds or something, probably.
Another time bank chip.
What can he have here? An 8? Oh man, I just realized he's got tons of 8s and 2 pairs and straights in his range. Fudge, this is so hard. Why did we bet the river?
You were 100% supportive of her betting the river.
Okay, well, I think we should call.
Is that a 3rd time bank chip?
Jen's known for taking a while with her decisions.
Call.
Chen calls.
Come on.
Phil tables pocket aces.
Pretty sure it's value.
Yeah.
Gross. Oh, God, I'm gonna be sick.
Nice hand.
Flop to full house.
That's orange chicken. That's orange chicken on the ground right here.
Action begins on Joe Hachem. King Jack. Raises. 9-8 suited for Doyle. Calls. And now Seiver. Also suited. Not connected.
Well, we all know Scott Seiver has a very loose definition of suited connectors, and he's getting more than 3 to 1.
Seiver calls. 3 to the flop, which is King 10-10, top pair for Hachem. Brunson checks.
Seiver thinking about it with 6 high.
Doing more than thinking about it. He's acting out, firing 5,800.
Now, even though he wasn't first to act, this is still a donk bet. Scott's hoping no one hit this flop and he can just take it down right here. For Hachem, it's pretty tough to lay down top pair in this spot. Very tough to put your opponent on flop trips, let alone if he did have trips, why wouldn't he let Hachem continuation bet at least one time?
There's the raise to 15-5. Doyle folds.
This is a risky raise for Joe Hachem. If he thinks his opponent's bluffing, he should let Seiver keep firing. If Scott's got a 10 or a better king, there's a good chance he'll get 3-bet. Now, we know Scott's only got 6 high. What in the Seiver is going on here?
I'll tell you what's going on here. He re-raises to 42-5.
Scott Seiver has just bet $42,500 that Joe Hachem does not have a 10. In other words, that's not a knife. This is a knife. Seiver claims this pose keeps his opponents from getting a read on him. He definitely doesn't want to give anything away now. Joe Hachem is painting himself into a corner here, and he's likely to be thinking to himself, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, vey.
All right.
Wow. I fold, pass.
All right, fold.
Nice one.
Wow. And Seiver shows.
Yeah,
Scott Seiver had the 6.
he was waiting for it. He was waiting for it. Nice hand, sir.
Yep, that feels good.
Blinds are up to 80 and 160,000 with a 20,000 ante. Andrew Chen first to speak.
Suited 1 gapper on the button, heads up.
Raises to 360.
This is not a mandatory 3-bet. Good way to balance your range.
Kitai elects to call. The Jack 7-5 flop. Ace high still good. Kitai checks.
Checking to the pre-flop aggressor. Chen should continue.
He does. 330,000.
Ace high will often be the best hand, just like it is on this hand.
Kitai calls. 9 of spades on the turn. Changes nothing. Kitai checks a second time.
See if Chen slows down as well.
He does. He checks behind. 10 of clubs on the river.
It looks like we're going to see a bet from Davide Kitai.
Is this a value bet or a bluff?
Pretty sure he doesn't want to call, so I'm guessing this is a bluff to try to fold out a 7 or a 5. Chen should be ditching this right about now. But he's not. I know he's not calling.
Well, this is certainly a bluff. A raise to more than 1.5 million.
To be perfectly honest, there are tons of hands Andrew could have here that have ace-3 beat. Tons. Kitai is not taking his gaze off Chen at all. It's like me with a chubby redhead. This would be some kind of absolute sick soul read.
Yeah, call.
Awesome call alert.
Agreed. I don't know how often ace tray is going to be good in that spot, but it's infrequently enough that I'm confident in saying that is a losing play in the long run. But Davide Kitai just made a soul read.
Great stuff.
Galen Hall, on the button, has posted the small blind and is first to speak. Looks down at 8-4 offsuit.
You can widen your range heads up and raise almost any 2 cards profitably from the button.
He's made it 450,000. Oliver has ace deuce in the big blind. He'll make the call.
Chris makes the call.
And we will see a flop.
To the flop.
The flop is 3-5 deuce. It's an up and down straight draw for Hall. Oliver still leads with a pair of 2s and a gut shot straight draw.
This is a good flop for Hall to continuation bet.
Oliver is checked to him. Hall makes a C bet of 575,000.
Oliver won't be going anywhere.
Makes the call. The turn is the 2 of hearts. Trip 2s now for Oliver. Hall still has the straight draw. Oliver checks a second time, but Hall checks behind. Hall makes a straight on the river, but Oliver has a full house.
The absolute worst card in the deck for Hall as he makes a wheel. How much money is he gonna lose is the real question.
Oliver sets the trap. He checks to him.
What a trap indeed. He's just praying his opponent has a 4, as he does.
Hall makes a value bet with his straight of 2 million.
That is a full pot size bet. Now it's going to be back on Oliver. He is contemplating exactly how much he can check raise. Galen Hall has 9.5 million chips behind. There are 4 million chips in the pot.
Come on.
Chris Oliver shoves on Galen Hall. He's trying to end it here.
As wild as Oliver is, it's still highly unlikely he ever shows up with the stone cold bluff. If Oliver was bluffing, he could have made a standard check raise rather than the all-in. Oliver's image is telling Hall to call, call, call.
But something in his gut is telling him it doesn't add up. It's not right. And he makes the laydown.
Gyllenhaal gets away from the straight. That is an amazing fold.
Since he realized he was chopping the pot at best, he cut his losses and made a spectacular fold.
Chris Oliver's fans applaud him. They don't know he wanted the call there.
Good fold, Galen.
Good fold.
Thanks, guys.
Pocket fives under the gun. He raises to 160,000. Adrian Mateos calls in position on the button. Muhyiddin Ferez in the small blind. Also calls.
I don't need to be rude, but I'm not super worried about Ferez just calling out of the small blind.
Hadi Al-Azmar, our qualifier, is in the big blind.
Yeah, it's fun. Everybody's in. You see, when you don't 3-bet, so much more. Now everybody can win.
Family pot. And an ace-9-3 flop. Ferez checks. Al-Azmar checks. Johnny checks.
Free card? Huh? What do you say?
No dice. 275,000 from Mateos. Ferez calls. Al-Azmar folds. He completely missed the flop. Remember, those black chips are 100k apiece. This is a check raise to 715,000. Action back on Mateos. He calls. Muhyiddin Ferez folds. He had a 9.
Well, we got rid of one hand, and it was better than ours.
So heads up to the turn. 4 of clubs. Having raised flop, Johnny checks the turn.
We're definitely taking an interesting line. Usually we're supposed to keep betting there.
So Mateos bets 650,000.
Now this says to me that Adrian is not too worried about what we've got, but if he had a really big ace, maybe he would have 3-bet before the flop? No?
Johnny calls. And this hand's going to the river. With nearly 3.7 million in the middle, Johnny only has 2 million behind. It's the ace of diamonds pairing the board.
That makes it tougher for us to rep an ace, but also it makes it tougher for Mateos to have one.
Johnny checks again.
All in.
And the chip leader shoves on Lodden.
Oh, boy. Calling here and being right is the kind of thing legends are made of, but calling here and being wrong is so stupid and obvious that when you do it, you pretty much die of shame.
Clearly a tough decision for him.
Now that Johnny's so suspicious, I kind of want him to call.
Johnny folds. Mateos shows a bluff, jack high!
Oh, he didn't have to show it.
Sykt ikke stola på instinktene, skal være blikksynere. Jævla dårlig!
Via con Dios.
So sure you were floating. When I called the turn, I was just gonna call the river. I had nothing. Air.